Okay, I've got two new lessons for you guys today. It's new stuff. You haven't done it before. It says solve the systems of equations by graphing. Okay, they're systems of inequalities. Okay, so when it's just equations, you graph the two lines, and the crossing point is the answer for x and y. But when you're dealing with inequalities, less than, greater than, there's an infinite number of solutions, and we can best represent that. Again, there's an infinite number of xy coordinates that can make both this and this true. Then they both have to be true this time. So here's how I go about this. First off, you graph the inequalities, and right here, that one's in the y's by itself, so we're going to use slope-intercept form to graph that. Then the other one's also in slope-intercept form because the y is isolated on one side of the inequality by itself. So far that's nothing you don't know. So slope is 2 over 1, and then the y-intercept 0, positive 2. Okay, so I go graph that up 2, and then go up 2, right 1, do it again, okay? And then take a ruler, you'll need a ruler for this, and make the line as straight as you possibly. It's going to be a solid line because, and the reason why it's a solid line is because the equals 2's there. Okay, now the other one, slope y-intercept. Okay, so negative 1, 1 is the slope, and the y-intercept 0, positive 1. So then I go up 1, and then I go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. And that one's going to be a dashed line. The reason it's dashed is because you have less than, but it's not equal to. So I make the line dash because then because on the line are all the points that are equal. Well, it's not equal to, okay? It's just... Okay, now, when we did assignments previously, the point where they cross was the answer. Well, that's no longer the case when they're inequalities. What you do is you have separated this into what we call quadrants, okay? And the quadrants can be seen by looking at the angles. So right there's an angle, we'll call that quadrant A. And if you label them differently when working on your own, it's fine, okay? And then here to there's an angle, that's quadrant B. There to there, quadrant C. And there to there, quadrant D, okay? So again, A, B, C, D. What you're doing is one of those quadrants has all points that are true for both of the inequalities, okay? Because we've done it with one inequality where it was just one side of the line was true, the other was false, and we highlighted the true side. But now it's a little different because whatever region is true has to work for both of them. Okay, so what you should do is set up A, B, C, D right there, okay? So pick a point A. In the video, pick the one I picked so you're working with me. So I'll go left 1, up 4, okay? So that point's negative 1, 4, okay? So right above A, put that point, negative 1, 4. Okay, that's X, that's Y. Now we're going to see if that point is true for both of them, okay? If it is true for both of them, we don't need to do B, C, D because then A is the answer, okay? So again, replace the Y and the X in both inequalities with 4, negative 1, okay? So we're going to cross those out. So we can't really just pick 0 and never pick a point on the line. It's got to be within the region. Okay, so the Y, we're going to put 4 where the Y is at, less than or equal. And then we got 2x, so it's going to be 2 times negative 1, and then minus 2. Now let's see if that's true. So we know we have 4. Now over here, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, minus 2 is negative 4. Well, that's false, okay? So if it's false, I don't even need to do the second one. I don't need to plug those into the second one because remember, it has to be true for both of them, okay? So I know it can't be A. Cross that out. Okay, now I go pick a point in region B. I'll go left 2, up 1. So that point is negative 2, positive 1. Okay, so I'm going to put that point right above B because that's the point I'm testing. So y I'm going to replace with 1 less than or equal. 2x, I'm going to replace the x with negative 2. And then, wait a second, that wasn't a minus 2, that was a plus 2. Okay, so 2 times negative 1 is negative 2 plus 2 is 0, but that still doesn't make any sense. So A, I know I did that right. Sorry, I thought that was a minus 2. I couldn't see where I put my parentheses. Okay, so 2 times negative 2 and then plus 2. So you got 1. Now 2 times negative 2 is negative 4 plus 2 is going to be negative 2. So that doesn't make any sense either, so it can't be B. And again, I don't even need to do the second one, okay? All right, C, pick a point in region C. So you go right 2, up 1. We'll go 2, 1. Okay. So I'm going to replace the x with 2, the y with 1. So y is replaced with 1, less than or equal. 2, x is replaced with 2, and then plus 2. Okay, so 2 times 2 is 4, plus 2 is 6. Now that's true. Now if the true is the first one, now you got to plug it into the second one and see if that's also true. Okay, so y is 1 less than negative 1. And then x, we're going to replace it with 2 and then plus 1. So you got 1. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Plus 1 is going to be negative 1. Now, even though that was true, that one's false, okay? So C can't be it either. Well, by process of elimination, I know that D is the answer. I don't need to do the work here, okay? D is going to be the answer, and that's going to be the region we want to shade in, okay? Just that part there, because that's all the points. I'm highlighting it essentially, okay? All these points are the ones that are true for both of them. Okay, next one. Y is greater than negative 2, x is less than 1, okay? Now, there's a y in this one, but without an x. That's called constant form. And then we have the same thing going on here, constant form. So with constant form, we're going to simply set up 3 coordinate points to graph it. That's how you graph constant. And here it's the y and the negative 2, so I put negative 2 in for all the y's. X can be whatever, okay? I'll put 1, 2, 3. Now x and 1, now 1 would be the x in every coordinate, and then y can be 1, 2, 3, okay? So I graph the top one first. I go right 1 down 2, right 2 down 2, right 3 down 2, and the line is going to be dashed because it's just greater than. Okay, 1, 1, go right 1 up 1, right 1 up 2, right 1 up 3. And that is also going to be dashed. Okay, now look at the lines. They're all 90-degree angles, so in there, we'll call up here A, and then B, and then C, and then D. Kind of where, essentially you have 4 angles off the 2 lines. Okay, now the test is going to be pretty easy, so we're going to have A, B, C, and D. Okay, so A, just pick a point. Remember, it can't be on a line. So in that point, you're 3 forward, up 1. So that's 3, 1. Okay, so I'm going to test that point, 3, 1. So in the first one, and then remember that's X, that's Y. So in the first one, 1 is Y greater than negative 2. Okay, that's true. Now look at the second one. X is less than 1. So with X, we put 3 less than 1. No, I'm afraid not. So region A is not the solution. Okay, now we go pick a point in B. Just go left 1, up 1. So negative 1, 1. And it doesn't matter what point you pick. You'll be picking different points than I do, okay, when doing the problem on your own. Okay, so negative 1, 1. So X is negative 1, Y is positive 1. So Y is going to be 1 greater than negative 2. Yeah, that's a true one, but now we got to do this other inequality. So X is negative 1 less than 1. Well, I think that's true as well. Okay, they're both true, so Region B is where the answer lies. That's where the solutions are all at for both of them. So I don't even need to do C and D. Okay, they can't be the same. Okay, so I don't even need to do. I know C and D can't be it. I've used process of elimination. So region B is what I highlight. Okay, example 3. That's standard because you got X and Y on the same side. This is also standard, okay? So for standard, we're best off finding 2 coordinates, just 2 of them. And write that down twice, but when you write it twice, just write equals 10 so you don't get all confused with the sign flipping. And we put 0 here and then 0 here. So if X is 0, okay? Get rid of it, and then 10 divided by 2 is 5. If Y is 0, get rid of it, and then X would just be 10. Okay, so 0, 5, I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10, 0, I'm going to count by 2. So 2, 4, 6. And I'm going to also, when you're doing this, remember mark that, write 2s there so you know when you are guessing the ABC points that those are by 2s. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, and then take a ruler. The line's going to be solid because that has an equals. Okay, now we have to graph the other inequality. That's also in standard, so I'm going to make 2 more coordinates. And I'm going to write X plus Y equals 3, and then I'm going to write it again. So again, get the X out of there because you're finding the Y-intercept, so you get rid of that. Y equals 3. That's called the Y-intercept, okay? And then if the Y is 0, we can discover the X-intercept is also 3. So 0, 3, I go up 1, 2, 3. Now you got to be careful when you do the 3, 0 because remember, you are going by 2s, okay? Once you decide you're going by 2s on one, you got to use it for the other. Okay, so I go 2 and then 3 would be right there. Okay, then connect them. Now when you're doing this, you got to make sure your graph goes through the whole thing. Okay, it's got to go through the entire thing. Okay, this one's kind of a little bit of a different one. Okay. So they intersect, and we'll have that one be, that's a tiny one, so have that be D, okay? If you have just a little tiny angle, that's your D, okay? And I'll have this right there be A. You know, that is an angle, it's an obtuse angle, but that's an angle, that can be B. And this whole giant angle here can be C, okay? So you see how I do that, okay? It's kind of split into 4 angles, the graph is. I mean, I can see these 2 angles, but then the obtuse angle's right there. Okay, so A, B, C, and D. Again, if you have a region like D when your coordinate options are very limited, you should save that for last, okay? Okay, so A, we'll pick this one. That looks like we're at 2. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 5. Okay, so I'm going to replace 2, 5. Again, X is 2, Y is 5. Okay, so X is now going to turn into 2 plus 2. Y is 5. I'm going to put parentheses 5, so I know that's 2 times 5, and then less than or equal to 10. Okay, well, 2 times 5 is 10. 10 plus 2 is 12. That makes no sense, so it cannot be A. I don't even bother with the second one. Okay, B, find something in B. If you go right 2 up 1, you can get there, so 2, 1. Okay, so I test the coordinate 2 to 1. Remember, it has to be true in both the inequalities. So X is 2 plus 2Y, so plus 2 times 1 less than or equal to 10. Well, 2 times 1 is 2. And 2 plus 2 is 4. And that looks good. That's true. okay? But now we have to do it into the other one. So x and y, so x is going to be 2 plus y, y is going to be 1 less than or equal to 3, okay? So 2 plus 1 is 3. Now, they're not less than, but they are equal, okay, when I do that. So that's probably, oh, shoot, I got to redo this, okay? I forgot I was going by 2's on this line. So that point, that first point, again, use a pencil. Again, this is the first time I've kind of taught this. So my explanation is not as crisp as some of my others. Okay, so retest A, but that's not 2, 5, because remember, going this way, you count by 2's. Okay, so that's actually 4, 2, 4, then 4, 5. Okay, I'm not saying that's going to work, but I at least want to test it the right way. It's easy to forget that. Okay, so that's actually 4, 5 instead of 2, 5. Okay. So x is going to be 4 plus 2 times y. Well, y is 5, so I can just put 10 less than or equal to 10. Well, that still doesn't make sense. Okay, so coordinate A cannot be the answer. Okay, now B. Now, again, originally I had 2, 1, but I got to remember that that's actually 4, 1 because you're counting by 2. So 2, 4 up 1. So 4, 1 instead of 2, 1. Okay, so x, well, x is going to be 4, and then 2y, well, 2 times 1 is 2, less than or equal to 10. Now, 4 plus 2 is 6, and 6 is less than or equal to 10, so that's true. Now, here we got x plus y. Well, x is 4, and then y is 1, less than or equal to 3. Well, 4 plus 1 is 5. Well, that makes no sense either, but that makes no sense. That's false. Even though that one was true, they both have to be true, so court B can't work. Okay, now C, I pick a point in C. There's a ton of them to pick from. I'll go left one. You can do 0, 0 for C, okay? I mean, that's in region C. So x is 0, and then 2 times y, okay? Well, 2 times 0 is 0. Less than or equal to 10. 0 less than or equal to 10. Yep, that's true. Now it's got to work for the other one. And I think it's going to because x is 0, y is 0, x plus y, 0 plus 0, less than or equal to 3. And that's true as well. Okay, so region C is the answer. Okay, so I basically shade that giant obtuse angle, okay, inside of it. Highlight it, and that's where the true is for both of them. Okay, so I don't even need to worry about D. Okay. Okay, example 4. What formation? That's constant formation. That one's in slope-intercept formation. So let's get the constant one down, the first one. Again, I make 3 coordinates. And y is 3, so we're going to have 3, 3, 3. And then x, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I go right 1 up 1, 2, 3, right 2 up 3, right 3 up 3. Okay, now you make a line. It's straight, and it's going to be solid because it can be equal to as well. Now I go slope-intercept on the other one. Slope, y-intercept. So the slope is 1/2, and the y-intercept 0, 1. So I go up 1, then from there I go right 1 over 2, right 1 over 2. There's already a line there, but that's fine. You're going to make that one solid as well because it's less than or equal to. And again, 2 intersecting lines always make 4 angles. Okay, well, this be A, this B, C, and then D. Okay, so let's see what we got going on for A, B, C, and D. Remember, it's kind of like you do a multiple choice test. Okay. Okay, so A, let's go right 2, and I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm 2, 4. Fortunately, I'm going by ones on both of them, so I don't have what happened on the last one. Again, the twos aren't a big deal, but you just have to remember it. You see, I forgot it like an idiot, so I had to go back and erase and redo the problem. Okay, now first one's easy. Y, you just replace it with 4 and see if you have a true or false statement. That is false. I don't even need to do the other one, so I know it's not region A. Okay, now go into B. Okay, whoa, a second. I did the wrong one. Okay, jeez, struggling here today. I apologize. Okay, again, A is this angle here. I tested the wrong thing. Okay, I'll pick that one. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be 8, 4. Okay, again, I had the wrong thing. Okay, so 8, 4 is the point we're going to test. So Y is 4, less than or equal to 3. Again, that doesn't make any sense, so A. Okay. Now remember, B is this obtuse angle here. Okay. So just pick a point somewhere. I'll pick that one. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5, 5. I'll just replace them both with 5. Okay, so 5 less than or equal. Whoops, I'm on B. 5 less than or equal to 3. Again, that makes no sense. That's false. B cannot be the answer. Okay, now look at C. C is this angle right there. Okay, we'll go right there. So that's going to be left 3 up 2. So negative 3, 2. So I replace the Y with 2, less than or equal to 3. Yep, that's true. Okay. Now try the other one. So Y, you're going to put 2, less than or equal to a half times X. So it's really a half times negative 3, and then plus 1. Okay. So a half times negative 3 plus 1. It's going to be negative 1.5 plus 1, which is negative 1/2, okay? Which makes no sense because that's the bigger one. It's opening up, okay? So it can't be D, so that tells me it's got to be the angle D, this obtuse angle here. So go ahead and highlight that angle inside the angle. All those are your true points. Had I picked a point, it would have been true for both of them. Okay, example 5. Now, these are kind of weird. This one's in slope-intercept. But look at the other one. It's really not in any formation, okay? Because the Y's, you have the Y, but it's not by itself. And it's not on the same side as the X. But it's closer to slope-intercept than it is to standard, because standard, the X and Y are on the same side. Well, let's divide everything by 3 here and then see what happens. Yeah, because that'll be Y less than negative 2X plus 2. Another thing you got to watch, when you have to divide like I just did right there, if you're dividing by a negative, if that 3 would have been negative, the sign would have flipped, okay, when you're rewriting the inequality. So we can get rid of that, and now that's also in slope-intercept form, okay? Okay, so let's graph the first one. Let's see if I can do this without making many mistakes, okay? So the slope's 1, it'd be 1 over 1, 0, 2. Okay, so I go up 2, then I go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Okay, solid line because we have the equals. Again, you see what I did with that equation. It wasn't in any form, but it was closer to being in slope-intercept than it was to standard. Usually when the Y and X are on opposite sides, you want to do, and Y and you want to do slope-intercept. Okay, solid line going through there. That's that inequality. Now the second one, okay, that's also slope-intercept. So slope, Y-intercept. So the slope's negative 2 over 1, and the Y-intercept is 0, 2. So I go up 2, then I go down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1. Now I know you know the point where they intersect, but that doesn't do you any good on inequalities. With equations, that's the answer, that's it. With inequalities, no, it ain't going to work that way. Ain't going to be that easy, okay? At least this one you can easily see your angles. So we'll have that obtuse angle be A. We'll have the one right across from it be C, and then we'll have the adjacent one be B, and then right across from that be D. And when you're doing it on your own, you can label A, B, C, D however you want. You just have to shade the right region. Okay, A, you're going to go right 1 up, right 2 up 1, so 2, 1, okay? Okay, remember, you got to really pay attention to where you put these. The Y is first, so Y is 1, and then greater than or equal to 1 times X, so 1 times 2 is 2, plus 2 is 4. Well, that makes no sense, that's false, okay? So it can't be A. I don't even bother with the second one. Okay, now B, that would be somewhere here. I'll pick right 1 up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, when there's no right point to pick. If you're wondering, well, why do you pick 1, 6? I just pick a point somewhere in there. So yeah, if I would give this to a bunch of people, they'd have different points. It's just they got to get the right shaded one. So Y is 6. Greater than or equal to 1 times X, so 1 times 1's 1, plus 2 is 3. That's true. Now it's got to work for the other one. So Y will put 6. Negative 2 times X, negative 2 times 1's negative 2, plus 2. Well, that's 0. That second one's false, so you can't do region B. Okay, region C, I'm going to go left 2 up 1, so it's negative 2, 1. Okay, so Y is going to be 1 greater than or equal to, here I'll put negative 2, 1. So 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. That's a true. Now look at your second inequality. The Y is less than negative 2x plus 2. So Y becomes 1 less than negative 2 times X. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. So this looks promising, but I need to add the 2. But that's 6. And that's true as well. Okay? So they're both true. So angle C, okay, is the point of all the coordinates that work for both of them. Okay? And then I don't even bother with D because I know I already have mine shaded. Okay, example 6. Now look at this one, okay? This one, the Y and the X are together. We know that's in standard, okay? This one, they're apart. They're not in either form yet, but they're on opposite sides, so it's closer to being in slope-intercept. We just have to do the opposite of minus 3 and add 3 and put that behind the 2x. Then I clearly see we've got Y is greater than 2x plus 3, and that's slope-intercept. Okay, so standard. Be careful on the standard one. You're going to make two coordinates, 0, 0. Going to write that out twice. Y plus 3x equals 8. Y plus 3x equals 8. So x is 0. We can get rid of the 3x, and y is equal to 8. Y is 0. We take out the y. And 8 divided by 3 is 2.6. If you get a repeating decimal, go 8 ABC 3, and that's 2 2/3. I mean, it's still going to be in the same vicinity. So 0, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then 2 2/3, 0, you're going to go 1, 2, and then 2/3 is like practically there. Okay? So I take my ruler and make the line. It's a solid line because it's less than or equal to. Okay, and now look at the other one. The other one's in slope-intercept form, so we want to graph it using the slope Y-intercept method. So the slope's 2 over 1, and the Y-intercept is 0, 3. So you're going to go up 1, 2, 3, and from there you go up 2, right 1. So up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. And again, the lines should cross. Intersecting lines form 4 angles. We're not measuring the angles. I'm just showing you how to label your regions. Okay. So I have this acute. By the way, I'm going to put A there, but if you put B, it's fine. Okay. Then B, C, and D. There's no right order to label the A, B, C, and the D. So you got A, B, C, and D. Okay, so A's up there. Clearly I can see 1 point would be 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 7. Okay, so the first one, Y. Well, Y is going to be 7 plus 3 times X. Well, 3 times 1 is 3, less than or equal to 8. Well, that's 10. That's false, okay? So it can't be A. Now B, I'll go right 1, 2, 3, 4 up 1. Okay, so 4, 1 is the point I'm testing. Okay, so Y is 1 plus 3 times X. Well, 3 times 4 is 12, less than or equal to 8. So that's 13. That's false. Okay, so B is a no-win. Okay. Now C, heck, C is 0, 0 is in the region C, so we'll just go with that. So if you think about it, Y is 0, 3 times X, well, 3 times 0 is 0. So you'd have 0 less than or equal to 8. That's true. Okay, now go to the other one. Y is 0, 2 times X, well, 2 times 0 is 0, plus 3 is 3. That's false, okay? So part C is not a winner. So part D is the one we want to go with, okay? We don't need to test a point in part D when I get to it, because if A, B, and C didn't work, by process of elimination, you have D. Okay, sorry, that's the first time I've explained that in a while, okay? So probably wasn't all that fresh. Do the best you